Hello artist friends, let's draw Faith Ringgold's Tar Beach. For this lesson you just need your white art paper and we are going to color in with crayons. You can draw with your black crayon if you'd like, or you can draw with a Sharpie or a black marker. So you want to make sure it's permanent if you do that, but you can draw with a crayon for sure. I'm just using the Sharpie because I want you to be able to see my details really good. So either way, just go ahead and pick something that's black and permanent, so a crayon or a permanent marker, and we will begin. Now in this lesson, we're going to do we're going to learn a little bit about perspective, 1-point perspective, and we're also doing flat buildings and overlapping for this awesome rendition of nighttime Tar Beach in Harlem, New York City. So let's start off with this area here, and I am going to draw just a tiny bit different so I can show you some perspective, okay? So I want you to draw a dot just right there, and then I'm going to have you draw kind of slanted like this, and then slanted like this. Now before you get to the end, stop. Okay, we're just doing a little bit of extra here, and then come this way. Okay, so we've just kind of drawn just this little edge, okay? Now, we want to be able to see that this is the roof, there's a ledge, and there's people on here. So we're going to draw a straight line down right there, okay? And now we're gonna draw a straight line. This is the edge of the building. We're just gonna draw a straight line all the way off the paper. Okay, now we need to draw the inside of Tar Beach. So for right here, we're gonna make this a parallel line. So we're just gonna try to keep them the same width like that. But on this side, this building edge is blocking our way. It's gonna go down to here. So we are gonna just draw this until we run into that. Now we've got the edge of our building. So that's a little bit of perspective for us. Now on this building, even though this is far away, she showed perspective on this building, even though she didn't show on any other buildings. So we are going to do that building. So we're gonna start off by drawing a parallelogram. Do you see how these are both slanted? So I'm drawing a square, but they're slanted. So start off by drawing a square. And if at any time you feel like I'm moving too fast, you can always pause and catch up and then start again. Also, there's a lot going on in this picture, and I'm gonna give you suggestions, but you don't have to take all the suggestions. You can do whatever parts you want. You can add, you can leave out. We'll let you make this your own. Okay, now we are going to do the same thing we did in here. We are just gonna draw a little bit of a line like that, and we're gonna draw to this edge and stop, and this edge and stop. And then we've got a bunch going on down here, so I'm just going to partially draw the lines of the buildings because we'll finish them later. So for right now, we're just gonna kind of leave that suspended in air. So that's just a good idea of another way to just draw the inside of a building using perspective. We're showing more than one side. Okay, now before we do all these fun details, we want to layer in the other buildings in New York, but I love this bridge and I wanna make sure we get the bridge. And this was really important to this artist, Faith Ringgold, and so we want to make sure we get that bridge. So let's start off by just drawing, and it's just kind of floating right now. We're just going to draw a rectangle like that. And then up here, higher, we're going to draw another rectangle like this. Okay, so not the whole rectangle, right? Because we're going to have buildings. So we're going to start off like that, and then in each one of these, I want you to draw an arch. So basically it's just an upside down U, like that, okay? And then we are gonna connect these to bridges using a cable. So from this corner to this corner, We're going to go down and up to connect there. And from this corner to the other corner, down and up. So now we've got our cables, and we can't even see the bottom of the bridge because we have all these buildings. So for right now, that is gonna work for us. The only other thing that we need to do is just draw some lines across here so that we can divide each one of these. And you'll notice on the picture that they are divided by X's. Each box gets an X. And this is just the support system for the bridge. So you could even do that if you wanted to. And then we just put an X in each one of those boxes. Okay, now we'll add a lot more details, but let's put some buildings in. Now, you can do as many as you want, and we want this to kind of look far away. So I'm gonna just start off with my first layer, and all I'm doing is rectangles, but I'm overlapping. So instead of right next to it, I'm gonna go behind. Okay, and I'm gonna stop right there for a second because look at all these buildings down here. So let's draw some buildings here. Remember occasionally to go behind another building. You can have a longer building, you can have a shorter building. So we're just doing a series of rectangles until we meet up with those, okay? And then I'm just gonna keep building these up until I reach my bridge like that. And then look at this. This is the ice cream factory. So we'll put that long building across the top. And if you want, you can put a couple more buildings back here. Okay, and then with this building, let's just connect him to the rest. So that building's really tall. And the reason she made that so tall is because that's where her dad worked. And so that was important to her as a child. Okay, so interestingly, that we can see the top of this roof, but all these are flat. So that's just how the artist decided to do that because she is a folk artist. So sometimes folk artists will take something and make it simpler for their art. So I think we're good for that right now. Let's add some stuff here. Okay, so I love the table, and this will give us a little bit of perspective. So we're gonna draw, here's the front edge of the table. And as the table goes towards the back, look at that. So that's a trick that I like to use as an artist. If I'm not sure, I put my pencil on it and go, oh, these aren't straight. They both tilt in just a little bit because of the angle we're looking at it. And then we'll go across. Okay, and then you can kind of make this into a tablecloth. Look at that. 2 little lines makes it look like the fabric's folded, and then just a little curve right there. And then we can just do 2 table legs. And then you can put whatever food you would want to eat on a picnic upstairs on that table. Okay, now I love these laundry lines. So let's get some laundry lines. Let's put a pole here. So 2 straight lines with a circle and a pole here. And let's put a line in between them, just like we did with the bridge. And just so that I can see where that is, I'm gonna color it in, there we go. Okay, now we just do really simple shapes of clothes. So watch this, we can just do like a curve, and then we can just do kind of arm, and then a curve. So it could be a shirt, and you could do pants. Just make sure they curve a little bit where they're hooked on. And then maybe another, like a little kid shirt. So you can add some clothes on there and you can make them look like you want. And then look at this. So on these tar beaches, because people didn't have yards, their roof was their yard. So we have all these plants. And so what she's done is done a little bit of a terracotta pot and then a bush. So let me show you how to do that. So we've got just this little lip of a pot. So we've really just got a small rectangle like this. And then we just draw 2 lines like that and down. And that's our pot. And then you would just do kind of an organic shape, which means it's not a shape we can put a name on, like a triangle or a cylinder or something like that, or circle, but it has more wavy lines. Okay, and then I might do another one with a different plant. And then there might even be plants. It might even be pots you can't see. You could put any pots that you want and some more pots. Now, part of this story is about kids laying down and looking up. So you could draw some kids if you wanted to. And one easy way when you're drawing, so let's do her blanket straight on this way, and I'm gonna have us do this a little bit. So an easy way is just to draw kind of like a stick figure, and then we'll draw around it. So I'm gonna draw a girl, and then we can just draw a neck. Here's a head. And then you can just draw a dress shape. And legs. Okay, because her drawings are pretty simple. And then a boy, we could just draw a head. And a boy, we're just going to make this part shorter like that. And then give him some pants or some shorts. And some legs. So this drawing, this is not about perfection. This is more about, this is folk art, so it can be anything we want it to be. Okay, and then you can just do, so she's got these fabulous braids. And you could do the people in the story, or you could draw yourself. I would love it if you did yourself. And then I'm just gonna go like that, eyes and a nose. I mean, because these are far away, so we don't have to see them. So you could draw whatever your hair you want. You could put your clothes. You could do patterns, whatever you want. So I want you to put yourself on there. I definitely want you to put some food on the table. A big watermelon and a platter. Maybe there's a big chicken. Chicken dinner. Maybe there's a bowl of salad. Breadsticks. So I want you to go ahead and put whatever you want, and you can decorate your tablecloth however you want. You can put some more plants in here. So that will just be up to you to kind of fill this in however much you would want, and really kind of be thinking like, boy, if I had a garden on top of my roof, what would I want up there? Some people in New York have bird cages. So if you've seen, some movies about New York, they've got bird cages up there. They maybe have a lawn chair. You could draw people at a table. So whatever you want, you can put that part in. And one thing I want you to do, just to make this a little more realistic, is just draw a line like this so that you kind of have this border. And you can just draw it where you can see it. That just gives us just a little bit more texture there. Okay, now, the last thing that you need to do as far as drawing is windows. I want you to see something right here. She didn't draw every single window on every single building. So if you look at this building, she just drew a couple. And these don't go all the way down. This one does. So I want you to choose some buildings where you draw a lot of windows and some where you just draw a few windows. I also really love the fact that some of these buildings, just to make them different, they have little structures on them. So that's gonna really help just add. So you can add just like a little box or two boxes, or you could add like antenna, or you could add a chimney, or you could add, maybe someone has maybe their door comes up like that off of their building, or maybe some more laundry hanging, maybe some little places where the smoke comes out. Maybe there's like a little tower on there. So I want you to take some time and just add a few details onto some of those. And this one has those lights, and they're just circles like that. And if you wanted to name one of the buildings, you could do that. So then I would come back and I would just do some windows. And remember, you don't have to do all of them. Here's another trick. Okay, I want you to do some rectangle windows because they look awesome. And we definitely want to see some of those. We want those to be light colored because this is at night. And we're gonna color those in with white or yellow. And then we're gonna paint over this when we're all done with black. So any of those windows are gonna show up. But here's another way to just show windows on a building is just some lines like that. Or some buildings are made out of glass and they have horizontal lines. So you could do that on some of your buildings if you don't want to draw all of the windows and then put some windows on other ones. Some of your buildings could even have arched windows. So this is kind of fun, and this is where I just want you to take your time and enjoy kind of making your patterns and making your patterns for your windows. So we could have kind of dash lines, long skinny windows, and just kind of add all those details in. The last detail that I want you to add in is over here on your bridge. The lights on the bridge are my favorite part, especially after we paint. This is going to help your bridge show up. So we also have lights all along the edge here. And so anywhere where it's not too messy, anywhere where you have some open space, then I want you to just add those lights going along those cables, because that is going to be interesting for us in the end. And up here, you don't have to draw a person if you don't want to. There's flying kids up there because she would dream as she laid here that she was flying above the city. If you want to put yourself up there flying above the city, you can, and you would again just do a stick figure and put yourself up there. And then you could make this building could be whatever you want it to be, with whatever kind of windows you want. And you can even kind of change like the windows on the side. All right, and then the last thing is just, see how we've got these little white up here? So when we paint over this with black, whatever we did with our crayon is gonna show up, and it's called a resist. So we definitely want some stars. And you don't wanna do the star, you don't wanna do that star, okay? Because it really detracts from our drawing. So what we want to do instead is just draw some circles, and then we can even do some more with our crayons. So continue to work on this. Add as many details as you want on the rooftop here. Here's even just some bushes that we can't see the pots. And then once you get all of your windows drawn and your lights and your stars, take your marker and just put your name somewhere on here. Sign your name somewhere on one of the buildings, and I will meet you back here for the next session where we're going to color and then do a wash. I'll see you next time.